All right, we got another week of Parrots Picks brought to you by Linda's Construction. Boys, how were the picks last week?
Well, Parrot, you finished ahead of the game at least, right?
Well,
2-1 or 3-0 is what you want to go. That's what you were saying, right? Just keep the ship going.
3-0 is what you want. 2-1, you're still positive.
Yeah.
You just don't want to go the big goose egg, which can happen. And 2-1 is what we did last week. So back at it this week, searching out that 3-0. Well, that's the goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mostly
Moose 3-0.
That's
Chatty.
right, boys. Chatty taking over. Watch out.
3-0 last
Well,
week.
I wouldn't say taking over. Let's just relax
Hey,
over there. You're
Last time I got a little overzealous, and it's called the Vikings, and I got my butt kicked. So we're just Chatty's making a comeback. How's that sound?
that
Sounds
sounds better. We'll go with that, okay?
Yep.
And you and I were 2-1.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No,
1 and 2. Sorry,
yeah,
1
I
and
mean,
2.
I know you like to brag about how good you are at this, but you can't lie when the numbers are in front of us. Again, Gibby,
Hey.
1 and 2.
You can't brag when it's facts. I think I've been 1 and 2 for a long time.
Yeah, I think
You just
probably
keep
your
losing
whole
money.
life.
Well, people, if they just bid opposite of me, they're making some money. So it's good.
Well,
You know
that's
what's funny? My cousin actually listened out of Colorado, and he's like, "So what you're saying is I should bet opposite." He likes that. He's big into sports betting.
Yeah.
He's like, I should really bet opposite of all of you guys.
Yeah, well, let's get
Hey,
on.
what
We
do you
got to get
mean?
him on sometime.
You were 3-0 last week. I was 3-0 the week before, and Parrot was 2-1. So if he was going to bet opposite, how would have he done on those 9 picks?
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, and again, we're not advocating that you do that, but I'd highly recommend it.
Highly
Just
recommend
make
it.
sure you figure out which one to follow per week. You know, right now it's hit and miss.
It is.
And I'd probably have to say,
No. It's a new day. Let's get her done, boys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Let's get
that's
it done.
right.
We
Wipe
got-
the
hey,
slate clean.
We got the new background going. We're rocking it. I'm impressed here, Moosey. So let's.
well, it's not really a new background. It's just Parrot's house there.
Yeah, look at that.
You know, he's
My
got.
cage.
Yeah, your cage. So what is your Parrot's name? Is it Mr. Gibb?
What's
Pardon
it?
me?
Oh,
Your
the
parrot. What do you call him, Mr. Gibb?
You know, the strange thing and kind of the funny story, I got the nickname Parrot back in college. Travi and I went to Augie together, and I used to work in a home for kids as Children's Home Society, and they gave me a kid that had a kind of an autism spectrum, and he was a tough kid to handle, and every now and then he would get really mad, and he would express himself, and he'd yell at me, and he'd go, "Garrett the Parrot, Garrett the Parrot."
Are you
I forgot
serious?
that story, man. I love it.
Some of my buddies at Augie worked there with me, and they'd see that kid yell at me and do that, and it was funny for me, but as my friends would see that, that stuck, and that was a nickname I could not shake. So instead of fighting it, I embraced it, and that kid is probably in his early 40s now, and hopefully he's doing well.
Moose.
Oh, I love
Moose.
it. I just love it.
Moose. You
What?
say early 40s or later 40s?
No, it wasn't Moose. It wasn't Moose.
No, I'm just saying. I'm asking
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Garrett.
No, I'm asking you, Garrett. How old was that kid? Late 40s?
No, he is
No.
now.
When we were in college, he was like 10, 12 years old.
Oh, I'm
Well, now
sorry,
he's
because
probably
just
in
the
his
way
early
you
40s,
described
so.
it is of how you had to take care of somebody, it really seemed like you were talking about Travis Gibson. So that's why I thought that could have been him, because that was a identical description of him. I felt like when he gets
We
mad,
had to
he
take-
yells
we had to
like.
take good care of him back in the day, but now he can bathe himself. He can,
That's-
himself.
that's
Yeah,
debatable.
We are talking about Travis Gibson.
I mean, I talked to him after the game on Friday, and
I don't think he could bathe himself.
Yeah, I don't think he could have. All I got out of him is LFG.
Well, yeah, it is what it is. It's good.
Well, you were down in Florida,
Yeah, it
so
was a
you
good
might have
time.
been
I mean,
talking to a
you gotta
parrot.
have
I was
fun. Poor
talking to a
guy.
parrot down in Florida. It
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah, you were talking to somebody. All right, well, let's get right into this. The Parrots Picks again, always brought to you by Linda's Construction. Again, we highly recommend you figure out which one to follow us per week, and you'll make tons of money, right? 3-0 2 weeks ago by me, 3-0 this week. I'm predicting somebody's go 3-0. It's just not going to be Gibson.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, well,
Just he's tough on you.
well, it's his
Travis,
birthday.
I feel bad.
Well,
here,
it was
this
his
is what it
birthday
is. I
2
mean,
days
it
ago.
makes him feel good about himself. So anything
That's
I
what,
can
yeah,
do to
that's
help
what he
him.
has to do. We
You know?
understand.
Yeah.
Just like you.
All right, Parrot, let's get into this, buddy.
Well,
All
I'll tell
right,
you
my
what,
man.
We're week 11 now in the college football season, so there should be some pretty good trends being seen. So there's some data out there. And this week I'm going with I'm sticking with the regional picks. I like the Big Ten and I like the Big 12. A lot of information on that we've seen. So starting off, I think Iowa. They're my number one pick that I'm going to take. I think they're playing UCLA. UCLA had a big win last week. I don't think UCLA is good enough to have 2 straight weeks where they're going to be impressive. Granted, they beat the Huskers last week pretty good, but this week going with Iowa. I think they're going to cover the number. And then I think Iowa State, they're going to rebound. They're well coached. They got a good club. They still got something to play for. If they win out, they can still maybe make the Big 12 championship game and then the playoffs. So give me Iowa State. And then I'm sticking with the hot hand, probably the hottest team in college football. Every year there's always one team that's a surprise. And this year with Indiana, I think Indiana is motivated. Actually, after last week, they made the college football playoff rankings, but they kind of got snubbed a little bit, in my opinion, with Penn State still being ranked higher than them. They still got something to prove. So I think Indiana's going to roll Michigan. So give me Iowa State, Iowa, and Indiana.
Like those picks, specifically the Indiana one. That team is just a juggernaut right now, man. They're rolling, and
I think the big knock is their schedule, right, Parrot? In
Who,
regards
Indiana?
to comparing them to Penn State.
Well, probably. I mean, they haven't had the real big win yet. They've had some nice wins,
Yep.
but the Big Ten does have some ebbs and flows in the level across the course of the year. But you can only beat the teams that you're playing that week. And
Exactly.
Indiana beat the heck out of everybody. Here's the other thing that I look at is you have your wins and loss record, but then you also have your against the spread record. And every game this year, Indiana's beaten the number, independent if they're favored or not. So Indiana's 9-0 against the spread is 9 as well as 9-0 straight up. So there's always one team that does that every year, and Indiana's doing it. So I'm going to keep riding the hot hand.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the end of the Iowa State game was good last week too. That was a bummer. I thought they were going to be able to come back and win, and then obviously they fell there. But that was a good game, good ending.
Oh yeah, well, I lived in Ames for 4 years, and back then Iowa State, they all thought they were good, but they were never the level that they are now. They got a great coach, great momentum, great support. It's just cool to see Iowa State get to the level they've been to.
Yeah, that is a program that's been, obviously they've had a few ebbs and flows over the last couple of years, but in general, they've been a factor in the Big 12, and they're tough. They're a good team. Good team.
Right
I work with a lot of people from Iowa State, so a lot of Iowa State fans where I work, so it's, I'm always giving them a hard time, but I can't say much this year, unfortunately. My team is ugly.
Well, they won't lose this week, the Badgers.
Well, yeah. BYE is a pretty easy team. Moose struggles with that team. He hasn't been able to find the logo for it yet, but he'll get there someday. All right, well, that's Parrots Picks. He's going with Iowa, Indiana, and Iowa State. How much you putting on each one?
Straight up Hundy. Keep it consistent, and they're all hot picks. So 3-0 will be a nice outcome.
All right, Gibby. Well, what do you got then? Let's hear the Masters picks.
Well, I'm going to say this before I give you my Masters picks. I got to give a little shout out to our alma mater, Parrot, Augustana Vikings, this week taking on the inner city rival Sioux Falls Cougars. Both teams, like we were talking, playoffs implications on the line, especially for Sioux Falls. Augie wins. We're definitely in, and it doesn't look like possibly Sioux Falls might not be Parrot if they go down on Saturday.
Yeah, you got the key to the city, which is the traveling trophy, so they're playing for that. And then Augie's got a great season. I'm still waiting for Augie. They've had some good years here recently, but make the playoffs and make a run. So hopefully this is the year.
Do you guys? This is both your alma maters.
Yep.
What'd you do there, Travis?
Played football.
Where?
At Augie.
Oh, late on the trigger.
It didn't play.
Hey, good.
What is going on?
Just trying to be a smart, this morning. It didn't
here
work
we go.
for him.
There
we
it is.
go. Hey, why don't you ask Parrot what Parrot played, and you can do it again.
Hey, Parrot, where'd you go to school?
I went to Augustana College, Augustana University.
There we go. What did he do, and what did he play?
Did you play football?
No.
I played baseball there. Travis, you played football.
Oh,
Yeah,
look
see?
at you
There it goes.
guys.
Honk it again.
Keep it going.
There we go. Anyways,
And
Tootin'
remember-
horns.
number 16 right now in the country. So we only have one. Obviously we lost to South Dakota State. Played them tough though. Obviously playing up in that Division I non-BCS game there, and then fell to Moorhead. But other than that, man, they've been playing pretty damn well. So good luck, Augustana. And they got my Tigers hat on, so it's all in you.
You get it
It's
all.
all today. So Going for the Tigers, going for Augie. All right, my picks this week, I'm going to start off, excuse me, with Georgia. On the road, I get that. And, that conference is tough. I get that. But the spread down to – I'm surprised with that one, Parrot. 2.5 is all they're getting, or it's all they're giving.
Well, on the road's tough, but I like Georgia too. Their quarterback had a rough week last week, but they still won. Look for Georgia to rebound. I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
No. And am I the only one that thinks that Georgia's Beck, correct? The quarterback?
Carson
Beck. Is am I the only one that thinks that he looks half asleep all the time?
I don't think he's that good, but
I don't know what it is. The guy just looks like he's half sleeping all the time. I don't know. He's pretty decent, though, obviously, if you're the starting quarterback for Georgia. And then I got to go back with my Navy boys again. They lost.
Going back to the well.
Yes, and then
right.
they struggled again last week. Spreads 3. They have to give 3 to South Florida on the road. But, man, they got a good football team. They just have had 2 bad weeks. So hopefully they can recover there. And then I'm going to go with Prime's team, Colorado. I was actually a little bit surprised that they weren't getting more points on that. Trying to find that game here. Off the top of your head, Garrett, who Colorado? I just had it. But I was surprised.
Colorado's got Texas Tech on the road.
Texas Tech, that's what's on the road. Yeah, on the road. I just think, and there's a lot of buzz around Colorado right now. But I was surprised that spread was as low as it was. So I'm going to go with Colorado over Texas Tech. So those are my 3. $100 a pop.
Garrett, you'll get why I'm laughing because there's more hand-holding than you realize going on between these two.
Believe me, I've known Travis for 30 years. So.
It's up to 3.5 now. So
it's all under the desk. Here we go, Scrib.
All right, so I'm going with Miami. I think that's a team that's been playing very well. Their quarterback is one that I liked last year, and they're just rolling. So I'm going to take Miami. And then, obviously, Gibby followed me, so he took Georgia. I'm going to take Georgia. I do like them in that game. I just think they're a team that defensively, they're good, right? I think if I'm just not sold on Carson Beck as a quarterback. You think go back to the Alabama game, right? And I know you were watching, obviously, Parrot, but the first half, he was out of sorts. No, the second half, he came back. He played really well, right? But it's just he's just inconsistent. I think that's probably where they're lacking, but that defense is pretty solid. That's for sure. And then
here comes the shocker.
I don't know why
here comes
this
the
is
back
a shocker.
door.
I'm taking Texas Tech.
I thought they were friends.
I love it.
I thought they were friends.
I love it.
It's the shocker.
I think this is one that the hype on Colorado, I'm just over it. Now, I do think they got to the, Shadir Sanders is a very good player, and Travis Hunter, a.k.a. Gibby, the dog. I mean, he is. He is good, and he is. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that team defensively and offensively is as good as everybody says they are. Obviously, you got key players there that really help. Now, offensively, they can throw that rock, but I just think, they're just starting to get beat up in playing in the Big 12 now, and some of these better teams, and I just think Texas Tech is a team that can score, and they're gonna outscore them.
All right.
And I'm gonna go 200 on Miami, 100. Ooh. 100. I the only reason why
after watching Miami last week is probably why you're doing it.
Well, that and the fact that I just remember Gibby, the first one was always like, why are you screwing with my face? That must be the TV.
No, it looks a lot better. If you could keep it like
but
that.
It's not me.
It's just kind of funny how Gibby was ripping on everybody. Oh, you got to do 300, 400, 500. Now he's just a simple 100 on everything.
I'm going to be
scared.
50 cents here
I would
soon
go
if
200 on Miami, too, because, Garrett, remember last week I had the over-under. It was like 54.5.
Is this a Gibby point you're going to bring up? Yeah, Gibby point here.
Miami almost covered that by themselves last week.
Yeah, so if you go
They're
over,
a hot hand.
He said over, and I think it was 44.5, and they scored 53 alone. It was 54, something like that. So do you understand that math?
Yeah.
Gibby? Okay.
Start prairie math.
Yeah, it is
All right.
prairie math.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's
All
hear
right,
it,
here we
Chatty.
go.
Here we
Chatty.
go, Chatty. I did this yesterday, so numbers might change a little bit. We're going to go down to Missouri. Missouri is giving up 2 at Tennessee, so that means they got to cover. I think they're going to cover, and I think they're going to actually straight out win.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
They've
they've had a solid season. And there's a slight underdog. Given their consistency, betting them to cover or even on the money line could be favorable if they keep it close or pull off a win.
Wow. There we go.
So we're going to hundo on those boys. And then we're going to go down to Texas, playing at TCU. Didn't really like this. I feel like they always play each other tough. But this is what she gave me, so this is what we're going with.
Hold on.
Go to Temo. Tennessee
Texas is playing Florida.
Oh, she gave me a wrong
Tennessee
week.
is playing
Playing
Mississippi
Mississippi
State.
State.
Wow, did she give me the wrong
She
week?
did. She threw a curveball. seeing
I
if we were
said
paying
this
attention.
week even.
Missouri is playing Oklahoma. Do you still want them?
Hold on.
I mean,
I'm just going by what Chatty said. I didn't check it.
well, that's AI. If you
Yeah,
don't,
Missouri is 3-point dogs to Oklahoma. That's not a terrible bet. It's on.
well, hey,
it's
oh,
at
that's
Missouri.
chatty.
Hold on, let me redo this. Quick.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Wow, thank you, Chatty, for not being on. I even said this week.
Well, maybe you said it last
Maybe
week.
maybe you got the Scribner version of Chatty.
It just goes to show you can't trust AI.
Yeah, see, there we go. They're not.
It's not as good as you think.
All right, here we go.
He's thinking. So anytime
Wait,
there's
where's
a,
Georgia at?
Oh, you could.
Oh, Georgia. That's the game.
Georgia Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Okay, I'm making sure I'm on the right week. Here we go. I got one of them here, so we're gonna start out with this one, okay, boys?
Okay,
Sorry about that.
it's all right.
Oregon versus Maryland. I
Okay.
believe that sounds right.
Yeah.
Favored by 28.7 points. So I would say they made me money last week, so we're gonna go with Oregon again this
Okay.
week. I don't like that. Ooh, Penn State, Washington. Does that sound right? There's a 13.5-point favorite. Boy,
Yeah.
I don't think Penn State's going to cover that.
Ooh, are you going?
Ooh, you going against Chatty?
Yeah,
All right.
That's fair. I mean, you can
13
do
and
that.
a half dogs.
that's 13.5 is a lot for those two teams,
Yeah,
isn't
you-
it?
So,
Well,
do you
that's-
understand how that works again?
Yes, 2
Okay,
touchdowns.
okay.
Thank you, and 2 extra points.
And
Well, I got to go with Chatty though, because that's what she says, right? That's what we do in this thing. So we're
Yep.
going Penn State.
Ooh.
Hold on, I
Cover
think.
versus Washington.
Yep.
All right. And it's at Penn State.
And then we're gonna go. Ooh, Iowa, UCLA.
Yep.
So Iowa's even to control the pace, making them a safe pick. So we're taking Iowa
All
to
right.
cover the 5.5 point.
so just
Great
to
So
get-
sorry, I did take one of yours, but
Yeah, I was gonna say you're taking Iowa, which Parrot took.
you guys,
Great pick. Great pick.
Great pick.
I think it's a great pick. I'm just asking if it's okay that you're taking
Yes.
the same thing.
Oh, you two have been holding hands since we started.
So we'll see how
And
it
then
goes.
Scribner
Parrots.
gives them the old back door here this week.
I'm taking who's gonna win. He just doesn't know what he's doing. It's
Yeah.
And I'm going 100 on all of mine.
All right.
Oh, there.
Hondos.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Well,
have
that
to-
sounds good. So we do a quick NFL pick.
You bet. The Vikes got a good stretch coming up here. I think the next 7 games they'll be the favorite easy in all 7. Then they play the Packers in week 16. So tough to say what's going to happen there. But I think the Vikings are 6-2 right now. Very legitimately could be 12-3, 13-2 after this stretch. And Jacksonville, I mean, Vikings are going to roll. They're only 4.5 point favorites this week too.
Exactly.
So give me the Vikings.
Yeah. That's a pretty safe pick there, Parrot. And since I'm going to take some grief for this, I'm going to jump on the wings of Parrot this week. I'm definitely going to go with the Vikes as well.
Jesus Christ. I'm not picking the Vikes. You could not a chance in HELL. I mean, are you kidding me? This is another one of these things where true Packer fan here. I'm never going to make money on the Vikes. I never would. If I had to look across the NFL today, now the one thing is the Vikes, just checking your stats here. Yeah, they probably, I mean, the Falcon game will be interesting to see where they're at.
Yeah.
Parrot, that could be one where,
Yeah.
because it is,
It's in New Orleans.
it is not in New Orleans. It'd be in Atlanta.
I don't think so. The bottom team is a home team, isn't it?
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons playing Atlanta, not New Orleans.
Atlanta playing New Orleans.
No, I'm talking about the Viking schedule, you doofus.
Oh, you were
Jeez.
picking games and he's looking at a schedule.
Well, I
Will you
I
just-
commented on Parrot because he
I'm-
said the next 6 games, the Vikings will be favored. I just stated that I don't know about that one. That one's going to be a close one depending on how Atlanta does the next 3-4 weeks. Obviously, I think.
Trickle choke.
Well,
Ha!
you never know. Man, you guys were Kirk fans for a while, and all of a sudden he's not on your team and you're bailing.
You
again.
have to be. You're a fan for all those Wisconsin Badger players, and they're playing like this year.
That's
Jeez,
'cause he
they're
thinks
playing
with
like
his heart,
what?
not his brain.
I know.
Neither one's very big.
Jeez, look at you. I think the one that I'm going to go with,
We're actually doing a pick.
I'm just
Yeah,
looking.
I don't. Who knows what Scribner's doing?
I got
Garrett
one.
and
I got
think- You
one.
got one? Why don't you do
I'm
that?
going
while-
to go with Lions.
No, that was my pick.
Doesn't you can still do it.
No,
guys
I'm
can
not
still do
taking.
it.
I'm not like you. I don't hold hands with a person. There's
That's
4
a
of us.
Good game
Help
Sunday
me.
night.
Oh yeah, Texans.
You
Yep.
bet. That's awesome.
I think they're gonna smoke them.
I do too. The Lions are just playing
They're good.
lights out.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Well, I'm going
Texans
Lions.
aren't that good.
No, they're
Without
not.
Nico Collins, with his absence has hurt them big time.
So there we go.
What do you got there?
Lions.
You are gonna go Lions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he
All
took
right.
it before me. I
Yeah.
had it queued up before he was like he was
Ah,
dinking
you and
around
I
with
think
his
alike,
phone.
buddy. That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
happens here.
that's-
Well, it's you and I, Parrot versus these 2 knuckleheads this week. So
Well,
we'll
that'll
see
be
how it
pretty.
goes.
Yeah, we know who's going to win that one.
Maybe next week we'll put some moose dollars on it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All
we're-
right. That's another week of Parrots Picks. You got something, Moose?
Yeah, do you have our money that we have available?
I do not. I kind of. I'll
Gimme.
get it.
He didn't bring his calculator,
Gimme.
so we're fine. Yeah,
The numbers guy is off.
I know.
Well, I have a
it doesn't
couple
surprise
spreadsheet going now, and then I have one at home, and well, I do know 2 weeks ago I won $600.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's a good week.
That is a good
You
week.
should have lost 100 last week. So
Yeah.
Hey, good luck to the Tigers this week. Be rooting for them again. It's always fun to watch the broadcast, and we'll
All right,
see what
we'll
happens.
be there. All
Thanks,
right, my
Barrett.
man.
Yeah, it should be a great week. We're excited. All right, that's another week of the Parrots Picks brought to you by Linda's Construction. Parrot, again, thank you for joining. It makes it a lot smarter when we have you on here versus Gibby. Oh, we still had Gibby. Sorry.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see you, my man.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Go Augie. Go Tigers.
Bet.